All right, are we live? Are we live? Testing, 1, 2, 3, Houston. Okay.
Oh, too soon.
Too soon? Oh, I didn't even, wow. I was going to do
Are we live? Yeah!
I was going to do an Apollo 13 kind of thing, not a, okay, all right.
Baby.
Well, so it's Sam Quiz time. And if I sound a bit rushed, it's because I'm hungry. So let's do this. So what's the background color here?
Blue, my favorite color.
All right. And
Someone is awfully cheerful.
well, she loves blue is now her favorite color. It's displaced purple and pink.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. What is going on in this picture?
In the picture, there's a man making blue light, and then there's a giant whale in the clouds, and then there's like ropes that the man's hanging onto, and he's wearing a blue outfit, and there's white mark, and he's wearing a blue glove that's making the blue light.
That's not nearly as silly as most of the ones she's given.
Huh.
Yeah, there's some in it.
No,
Is it the new Jace?
It's the new Jace.
All right.
I wasn't going to have her.
Oh,
Chewy, of all people, should be very familiar with this. So
he's so dreamy.
I listened to the last Monday Night Magic. I couldn't not, especially after I saw the thumbnail. So, okay. All right. So, what do you want to say to the guys?
Bye bye, Sam. Bye bye.
Are you looking forward to seeing them in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, 2
In
days.
two what?
2 days? Are you looking forward to seeing them in 2 days?
Yeah.
You gonna be good for them?
Yes.
All right. Well,
See you soon, Sam. And see you soon, Mr. Kimball.
that means Chewy is some.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has been for a while.
Yeah, 'cause she has the chewy sum.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Sam.
Bye.
Oh, jam! Hello again, and welcome back. Nope, I screwed it up. I was trying to make some sort of, jam-related joke in my head, and then I realized that it wasn't going to work, so I just abandoned it, and then I went to the wrong intro. This is my life now, you guys. And you know what? I'm not cutting any of this. Hello again, and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 477 of the Mana Pool, and I am bad at this game. I am also Chewy. Hi! I am the lead dork and, bad at this game. Yeah, in case you didn't know. With me, as always, are some dorks who are, they've got to be better at this than I am.
I'm Brian. I'm the lead rambler and tangent master. It's preview time, which means I'm going to talk even more than usual. And I don't know if I'm good at this game. There's, maybe we'll get there together. Is this a team effort? Maybe it's a team effort. Yeah.
Ready, break.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy. And there are several games I am good at. There are several games I am bad at. And I'm Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group. And there are some things in life I'm good at, and a lot of things in life that I am bad at.
So I just have to back up for a minute. Mike, what games are you good at?
You're going to put him on the spot here.
Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say, now that I'm on the spot, I can't come up with
as soon as
anything.
he names something he's good at, you're going to try and beat him at it, aren't you?
I'm just going to, no.
You should name something really dangerous. Then we'll never call you on it, like Quidditch.
Yeah, you can have that one. But, just in my experience, let's see. What have I beaten Mike at? Nidhogg.
Yeah.
Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Octodad, even though it's not competitive, I was winning. Dude, we've got to get you over here to finish Octodad.
Yeah, I know.
We are bad at this. Anyway.
I heard there was a Nidhogg too.
Yeah, Nidhogg 2. It's either out or soon to be out. And it's apparently a whole new ball game. Yeah. But anyway, so before we start with Ixalan and related nonsense, I have two quick things. One, thank you so much to everyone, and I mean all of you, holy crap, who were kind enough to remind me about the search engine that I couldn't remember in the last episode that's better supposedly than Gatherer. It's Scryfall. Oh. Yeah, scryfall.com. I've got it bookmarked now, and I will be trying to use that in the future to see if it's any better or worse than Gatherer. I'm sure it'll probably work just as well, which is, what, like 75%? Roughly. And shut up, chair. Oh my god, my chair. And then second, so last night, I was playing Overwatch. I assure you this will become related. Everybody just bear with me. So playing Overwatch with, let's see, at this point, who was I playing with? I think it was it Gothic and Steph? I think Cap had already left for the night, and we hadn't picked Scott up yet. I'm pretty sure. Either that or we were playing with Scott, and it was after Gothic left. Either way, we're playing Overwatch. We're playing 4v4 Team Deathmatch, which is a new mode, which is why we were playing it on stream. And then, because it's 4v4 and there were only 3 of us, we got paired with a rando. In one of these games, the rando's battle tag was JTMS, which leads you to think of what?
Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Exactly. So I said in the team chat, dude, are you the Mind Sculptor? I hear you're better than all. And he came back with a, like, haha, yeah. And then he goes, and my battle tag is TMP Chewy.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, wait, TMP? Like the mana pool? And I was like, what? Yeah? He's like, holy crap, I used to listen to you guys a long time ago. I was like, whoa!
Used to. He quit when Squanto wasn't on anymore.
And he said, I thought this was really funny, which it shows that he totally used to listen and totally knew who we were, but not quite. He said, how is Mike's hot sister? And I was like...
Still going strong.
I was like, well, Mike's hot sister's an ugly dude, but Brian's sister's still hot. And he's like, whoops. Yeah, then I told him, hey, we're streaming right now. And he popped up in the stream. His Twitch handle was Jason the Mind Sculptor. I was like, dude, do I know you?
That sounds familiar.
He's like, no. I was like, were you like on the forums or something? He's like, no, I just listened. Okay, because that sounds really familiar. He's like, I'm pretty sure there's several of those. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
I don't know. Maybe he sent us an email or something.
He swore no, but, whatever. But how cool is that? We just happened to get paired with a rando who used to be a listener. I was like, whoa.
The odds of that seem...
Yeah, because we're not like a huge show. We've just been around forever.
Right.
So, yeah, it's like the time that I was playing on a Hearthstone, like on the ladder, just playing, and an opponent sent me a friend request, and just because, I was like, sure, why not? I'll get sworn at by this person. And they were like, are you Chewy? I'm like, oh my god! So, yay. That was fun.
Good.
Cool.
And made me feel all warm and or fuzzy. But anyway, now that story time is over, hey look, Ixalan stuff.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, website preview season hasn't started yet.
Yeah. They kind of did this because they felt like they had no other choice because so much of the genie had already clawed its way out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And by clawed its way out, you mean somebody reached in and grabbed it, kicking and screaming.
And then ran with it.
And took pictures of it. So,
Exactly.
Does somebody want to give like a 2-minute explanation of that?
Well, a few months ago, it says in the article, a full uncut sheet of Ixalan started hitting the internet, and everyone was like, oh my god, look at all these cards. Now, as someone who just doesn't do unofficial spoilers in any way because of years and years and years of being burned by them back in the day when they were much less reliable, I didn't even pay any attention. But lots of people did, and they were totally, like, actually Ixalan cards, a full sheet of them.
I had also heard of this. I hadn't heard the explanation, but I, like Chewy, did not search them out. So I did not see any of these until this week.
So the explanation, and I guess Chewy didn't get to that part, was that someone at the printing facility, it says a former temporary employee, like smuggled the sheet out of the building, like stole it from work, and then started posting pictures and trying to sell it on the internet.
As a criminal defense attorney, I have to advise anyone listening that this may very well constitute a criminal action. Comma, duh.
Yeah, they still have to call it the alleged Ixalan card theft because the person hasn't been like convicted yet. So
yeah,
it isn't official.
And they're very limited in what they can say about it,
Mm-hmm.
or what they should say about it. So the fact that they have gone into this much detail on this is remarkable, because like with the whole oops with Nicol Bolas and everything for Hour of Devastation, they never actually publicly acknowledged any of that, did they? I never saw anything. And in fact, when we were going into previews for Hour of Devastation, I actually remarked that I knew that these previews were out there, and I made a point of not seeing them. And it was kind of interesting that they never say anything about it. But here, they are being very upfront about it. And I think one of the reasons, as they state in the article, is because this happened long enough ago that they were able to adjust their preview schedule for it. And they are, because legal action is being undertaken and the person is in custody, they are able to address some of this. So this is very transparent on their part, and I think that's a really good thing.
It's definitely weird because they don't ever comment on anything ever.
Yeah, I think in this case they're making the most of a bad situation. I don't feel like we should have to say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway. This is when this sort of thing happens. Yes, it is bad. There are some people that still feel like, hey, early previews, it's a victimless crime and all that, and I'm like, no, because they have an entire marketing department. This is a major company, and they have a marketing department. It's not just one random guy saying, I feel like, we should release this card this day because I feel like it. They plan these things out. And
that would be Blake, right?
And how they plan it out, of course, then is shaped by, by how they want people to perceive the set. It's their property. They can do what they want with it. And when someone takes that from them, then that hurts the bottom line for them, and that ultimately hurts us as well. I'm of that opinion. But anyway.
Plus, when we get random preview cards unfiltered, it sort of leads people to lose their minds.
Yeah.
There's stuff that won't make sense. There's stuff that kind of, since you're not getting the controlled story with how they want to show it, you're just getting things in completely the wrong order, especially since this was a rare sheet. One thing that Mark Rosewater loves to say is that, if your theme isn't at common, it isn't your theme. The themes of the set and like the really most important stuff are going to show up at lower rarities. If you're just looking at rares and mythics, you're going to get a really confused view about what's going on.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the set is going to be there, but not in the fundamental way that the commons and uncommons would show it.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's one example in particular that I know exists, but it isn't. The specifics of it aren't coming to me, where some cards were leaked early and made people angry because of some stuff that was going on with the card. And then when they later explained like the mechanics and what the deal was with the set, people were like, oh, that makes a lot of sense now. But now I can't remember what that is because it's relatively recent.
Something other than Kozilek?
Was it Kozilek? It might have been Kozilek.
Maybe, because of the whole colorless mana symbol.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been it.
That was it. It was the diamond, the waist symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I knew that somebody would figure out what the hell I was mumbling about.
So going back to where we started this, technically previews, quote unquote, start next week, where that would be the normal preview season. But on Monday they released 2 articles, one that revealed all the cards that were put up on the internet earlier with crystal clarity this time, and then one was the mechanics article, and then every day in the
daily update,
daily update, there have been, and thank you, Mike, for correcting me about this in the email. There have been the cards that were released and previewed through the geocaching thing that they've got going on.
Oh, is that what those are?
Yeah,
That's my understanding of it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And we hadn't really discussed this beforehand. I imagine we'll go through the mechanics and hit some, if not all, of these other cards that are all in that one article, depending on how long we want to spend on it. So I don't know that we need to go into the updates, but there's at least one card in one of the updates that I have to mention because I saw it and I went, wah. And then if there's any others...
Is there any way I could get you to do that again exactly the same way? Oh, God.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I hope you can capture, go back and make a note of when that was, because I don't think I can do that again on my life.
I'm going to make that my ringtone. Whenever I get a Facebook message with
I'm going to call you. If I ever find out you're in a restaurant, I would call you all the time. See if you can explain that away. So, do we want to start with the mechanics article?
Yeah, we probably should.
Okay. I listened to Monday Night Magic. So, Chewy, do you want to do a rundown of all these mechanics again yourself, or do you want to take a break and let us talk about it?
Yeah, I'm good to let you guys do it.
All right. I'm enraged. So,
Rage.
So to start off,
is the light dying, or is it the machine? Quick, what else do you rage against?
The dying of the night.
Oh, it's light.
Dying of the light. I thought it was anyway. So real quick, there are 4 factions on Ixalan, and the first one is the Sun Empire, and this is the faction that controls dinosaurs, or at least if it doesn't control them, unleashes dinosaurs. And they have a named mechanic. Not all of the factions do, but the Sun Empire has Enrage. It's an ability word that triggers whenever it's on creature cards, and whenever that creature card is dealt damage, then something happens. Example here, Sun-Crowned Hunters. It is for 4 and 2 red, a common dinosaur. That's awesome. It's not a beast, it's a dinosaur, and is a 5/4. Again, a 5/4 for 6 at common. It's not bad. That's kind of a nice upper end smashy, and it has Enrage. Whenever Sun-Crowned Hunters is dealt damage, it deals 3 damage to target opponent. This feels just so awesome. You play it, and they're going to look at it and go like, well, I can't attack into that because it's going to eat something and I'm going to get lightning bolted. And so they're going to pass, and they're going to go like, all right, attack. Do you want to take 5 or do you want to take 3 when you block? And then you play another one because it's common, and they go, oh. But I think it's cool. Again, because it is an ability word, it's going to do different things on different dinosaurs. It's not always going to be 3 damage. You could theoretically have one that's whenever this is dealt damage, draw a card. Or opponent discards a card. Whatever. Insert here. But I imagine that most of them are going to be aggro-themed because you don't think about many dinosaurs being like, milling or deep thinkers.
Yeah, I mean, the velociraptors in Jurassic Park could outthink you, but they're still going to jump on you and eat your head.
Yeah. I'm kind of having a picture of like the old school Nicol Bolas in a chair with, reading something. And instead of Nicol Bolas, it's a raptor with reading glasses. But I don't think we're really going to see that here. Side note, how great is this art, and how great is it that they are actually doing feathered dinosaurs? Like, I don't want to say biologically correct dinosaurs, because our understanding of what dinosaurs look like is probably going to continue to evolve. They've been dead for several millions of years. But as far as we understand it, this is closer to what they look like than what we see in Jurassic Park, right? Yeah. So how awesome is that to see it on a card? I think it's neat.
It's pretty cool.
I'm sure Dirk would have had a comment if he hadn't BRB'd.
I know. I saw that and I was like, but I didn't want to wait for him either.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
And-
because
Oh, go ahead.
just because of the way damage goes away at the end of the turn. Any not even necessarily great, but even decent enrage ability on a creature with 3 or more toughness is going to be really good in practice.
Yeah.
And if it has like 5 or more toughness, it's going to be pretty insane.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be extremely difficult to kill it with damage in one shot, unless you're double blocking it. So just to clarify, combat damage is all dealt at the same time. Well, okay. So first strike damage is dealt in one step, and then normal damage is dealt. Normal damage in the second half of double strike damage is done in another step. Those happen at different times, but within a single combat damage step, all the damage is dealt simultaneously. So even if your opponent blocks Suncrown Hunters with 3 different creatures, it's only going to get dealt damage once.
Right. Unless one of those creatures has first strike and the others do not, in which case it will trigger twice, assuming it survived the first strike damage.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. To be a creature in Magic, you have to go through a rigorous training exercise where everyone is taught to hit the attacking creature all at the exact same time.
Not yet. Okay, now. I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone lately, I think, as a lot of us have been with the release of the new set. And actually, when I saw this card, my first thought was, hey, it's pretty good. And then I actually had to remind myself, wait, that damage is going to come off.
Yeah, this is Magic.
Yeah, which, as Mike said, 4 toughness is a lot. So this, for a common, I'm really glad they used this to illustrate it, because I think this... I'm going to leave it to experts like Marshall Sutcliffe and others who actually look at statistics and try and figure out a complete set from a limited perspective about what is the average size, what's the removal, blah, blah. But just in a vacuum, with the size that creatures usually come in, this feels like it could be very strong and limited. It's one of those you have to answer it, or it's just going to take over the game card. Pretty much the only reason this isn't going to win you the game is if you're already about to die. Hey, Dirk.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the art on this dinosaur card?
The hunters?
Yeah.
They look really cool. And I think the ability is really neat. And you guys might have mentioned, I had to step away for a second, but I think what's funny about the hunters and the enrage ability is that, you know how you always think, well, I'll just chump block this guy because he doesn't have trample?
Mm-hmm.
This very much deters the chump blocking.
It does. Unless you're blocking with like a 0/4, but dealing any damage, yeah. But 3 is better than 5, but it's harder to swallow when it's take 3 and probably lose a creature.
Right. It's, lose a creature and take 3, or take 5, and, just like, maybe I'll get a better draw next turn.
Hey, Dirk, read the flavor text.
One alone is dangerous, and they are never alone.
So that is Enrage. Let's keep going.
I don't quite get the flavor of this, though.
It's like Clever Girl.
I guess when you punch one of the members of the pack, another one comes up and bites you.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's one of them is dangerous, but they're never alone. So that means that it's more than just dangerous.
Yeah. You're attacking one, and the other one hits
It's
you from
like,
the side. Yeah.
Clever girl. I see what you did there.
Thank you. All right. So we got a lot of cards. So who's next?
I think Chewie's declared it.
Oh, and I just said Yarrr.
Hey, Dirk, you look like a pirate.
I appreciate that.
Is that a positive?
Let's just say yes and keep going.
You got scurvy in your peg leg.
Oh.
No, he's just been eating Cheetos.
Oh, good.
All right, so you want me to read the card?
Well, so the next faction is the Brazen Coalition.
Oh, that's right.
And it's pirates. Okay.
Yay, pirates.
So what's the mechanic,
Dinosaurs,
Dirk?
pirates? What can't you love about this set so far?
Yeah, like all we're missing is ninjas, and this set is every nerd thing
we don't
ever.
have to do that again.
What?
Not for a while. I'm still recovering. And that was years ago.
Save that for the second set in the block.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Return to Ixalan, where now we have...
Well, no. You know what's
ninjas.
going to be another one of those factions then? Be plants and zombies.
Oh, God.
Now you know where I'm coming from. All right.
Oh, Kid bombed.
I got kid bombed. All right. Come here.
So Dirk and Child, what is the mechanic for the pirates?
Raid.
Someone always does it.
Yeah, someone had to do it.
Does
Okay.
Raid look familiar to you, Dirk?
Like as in a WoW thing, yeah, but I don't know if like
It is a returning mechanic.
okay.
Yeah, it's from. Wait, we figured it out on Monday Night Magic. Is it Khans of Tarkir?
Yes, Khans of Tarkir.
It's the
Yeah.
Mardu.
Okay. It's been a while.
That's all right. Go ahead.
All right, so Deadeye Tormentor for 2 and a black. It's a 2/2 human pirate that's common. And he has Raid. When Deadeye Tormentor enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, target opponent discards a card.
Yarrr.
Mm-hmm.
So Raid is a keyword for a triggered
Ability
ability.
word.
Is it ability or is it? It's a triggered ability, correct?
Well, raid is an ability word that doesn't actually mean anything. I might have forgotten to correct you if you said the same thing about enrage earlier.
I think I just said.
They're not keywords. A keyword
No.
works exactly the same way every single time.
I said an ability word.
Yes.
That was the language they used. So Raid is another ability word.
Mhm.
They're loving these ability words. And as long as you attacked with any creature this turn, it does, and it doesn't have to be one creature, two creature, three creatures. As long as any creature declared attack and was either tapped or had vigilance, and you pass priority, Raid is triggered.
Wow.
I say that because nothing else had to happen. Creature could have been bounced, destroyed.
I really love the way that when Brian tries to make things simple, he makes them overcomplicated. And when Mike tries to make things simple, he gets neck deep in rules lingo that casual players don't care about.
Hey, wait a minute. That's not when I try to make things simple. That's when I try to explain something completely.
Oh, right. Excuse me. What I said about Brian making things simple is totally accurate, though.
That's, yeah, I concede that.
And see what Mike did there? He tried to explain something, but he made it, he tried to make it as detailed as possible.
So, anyway, when you cast Deadeye, when Deadeye Tormentor enters the battlefield, if you attack with anything this turn, period, it triggers.
Yep.
That's it. Plain and
I
simple.
mean, it's literally nothing new. So,
Yep. Is there anything else new?
well, yeah, because what's a pirate without his booty?
I knew someone was going to say booty.
Rocking
And that makes me
everywhere.
happy.
Booty,
Yeah.
booty, booty, booty. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, hey, Brian, you remember gold? You remember how much you
I
loved
like
gold?
gold.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
treasure is almost like gold, except it's been nerfed slightly.
Almost. So you can't do shenanigans with another set that's currently in standard.
Yeah, improvise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So treasure is a colorless artifact token, just like gold, except it says tap and sack to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool.
Yeah.
And gold just said sacrifice, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this you actually have to tap, which is fine. You in almost every situation that's not going to matter. The only situation that would matter, like we said this with Kaladesh, is think about how sick improvise would be with treasure.
With
I'm sure they just wanted to avoid that.
probably.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Yep.
yeah, things make treasure tokens, whatever.
Yep. Nice.
Yay.
I'll
Ooh, I'll take the next one.
okay.
It's the River Heralds. They're the merfolk.
Yep.
And we don't have a named keyword or ability word, so there aren't any here. But apparently they're very difficult to block, and they grow via +1/+1 counters. And that's what we got.
Yep.
So yay, merfolk and pirates. And what was the first one? Dinosaurs.
There you go.
And then this other one. Hey Mike, what's the other one?
The other one, scroll. Wrong tab. The other one, scroll, is the... Wait a minute, what the heck am I looking at?
I don't know, but you're roboting something fierce.
Mike.
Oh,
there you go. Okay.
hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So, there's the next one is a keyword action,
Nope.
which means...
Nope. Yep.
What?
Just above that. The last faction.
Last faction? Oh, okay. I thought you already glossed over those. All right.
Nope.
So the last faction is the Legion of Dusk, and they're vampires. Like the merfolk, they don't have much going on, except for being vampires. But they do all kinds of vampire stuff, just nothing new and specific to Ixalan.
Yeah. Apparently, you get to play with the life as a resource thing.
Yeah.
With the Legion of Dusk, which means they're probably going to be Mike's favorite faction.
Really
Don't kill yourself,
like
Mike. Watch there be a card that's like, pay 2 life to mill yourself. Mike's gonna be like, score.
Challenge accepted.
Mike's like, oh, gotta bring a change of pants to the pre-release.
All right.
Okay, so Mike, what were you saying about the keyword action?
Right. The keyword action is explore. And that's for some reason, why am I? Oh, I was thinking, isn't this a returning thing? I was like, no, it isn't. I'm thinking of parlay and conspiracy and how several times it involved putting a +1/+1 counter on the creature under certain conditions. But that's not what this is. Explore is something else. It's a keyword action, and whenever you're told to explore, you reveal the top card of your library. And then you put it into your hand if it's a land. And then otherwise, okay, so Explorer only shows up on creatures. Otherwise, you put a +1/+1 counter on the creature, and then you can choose whether to put that card back on top of your library or into your graveyard.
Which is really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you either draw this land, or dude get bigger, and this goes either back on top so you'll draw it the next time you draw, or into your graveyard if you don't need it right now, or it's a thing you want in the graveyard.
Yeah.
This is really good.
It's very comparable to Scry, except that you might end up drawing the card if it's a land, and if you don't, the thing that's doing it is getting bigger. So you don't have the ability to put it on the bottom of the library, and it will always be 1, so it's not like Scry 3 or anything. You might have a card that says Explore, then Explore again. We don't know yet. I find it really interesting that what's leaving standard, we actually have a number of things leaving because of the way they have the 2 set blocks now. It's going to feel like we're losing a lot of stuff because we're losing 4 sets.
Which is what we would have lost back when they did 3-in-1, but now that it's... Back then it was a block and then a core set. Now it's 2 blocks, which feels like more.
It feels like more. It's going to be the same number of cards, but it's going to feel like more. And we're losing Battle for Zendikar block and Return to Innistrad or Shadows over Innistrad. And with Shadows over Innistrad, we're losing Clue. So I find it interesting that we're getting Explore and Treasure, because each one of them is kind of like almost half of a clue. You have the card draw but this is card selection, possibly draw, and making tokens, making artifact tokens. So, in separate ways.
Would you like to investigate further? Nope, I will just explore. I'm pretty sure this is a thing that's popped up in a point-and-click adventure. Huh.
Yeah, pretty sure you're right.
Okay.
So yeah, the baseline example of explore here is Tishana's Wayfinder. For 2 and a green, it's a 2/2 Merfolk Scout. When it enters the battlefield, it explores.
Yep.
So it's a 3/3 for 3, or it's a 2/2 for 2 that draws you a land, or, well, those are the 2 options, really.
Yeah. And the reason that we're bringing this up now is because the remaining mechanics are not tied to any one particular faction. So I imagine there'll be some number of explore effects in the River Heralds because it talks about growing via +1/+1 counters, but this is not simply limited to that faction, the way that Enrage and Raid are linked to those factions.
And it's interesting to see a completely mono-green merfolk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you say it's freaking weird? Because it's freaking weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then, moving on. Vehicles are back.
Yep.
Yay.
Toot, toot.
All right, then, moving on.
Yeah, I mean, they work the same. Even says nothing about how vehicles work has changed.
Yep.
Ooh. And now I'm going to talk about this one because I'm going to. Double face cards are back, and now we've seen them a couple times. We saw them in original Innistrad and Shadows over Innistrad, and then we also saw them in the Magic Origins with the Planeswalkers.
Mm-hmm.
And now we get kind of a new take on them. This actually reminds me of Morph a little bit, where, especially in Future Sight, you had some morph creatures that flipped over into non-creature permanents. And I feel like this is relevant because we're going to get to this now. We've got double face cards, and they're all going to work some way where, one side, you're always going to play it the one side face up, and it's going to have some way of transforming, but they're not all going to be creatures, and they're not always going to change into the same type of permanent. For example, here's what they've given us so far. Treasure Map. For 2 generic, it is an artifact. It is rare. You can pay 1, tap it to scry 1. Seems pretty good. And then put a landmark counter on Treasure Map. So it feels very much like the brick counters. Then, if there are 3 or more landmark counters on it, remove those counters and transform Treasure Map and create 3 treasure tokens. So you scry a couple times, then it transforms. You get 3 treasure tokens. You're automatically sitting on 3 mana of any color that you want. You can save now or use later, and it flips over into Treasure Cove. And Treasure Cove is not an artifact. It's a land. So that's awesome. And it has 2 abilities. One is tap to add a colorless to your mana pool, a waste mana. And the second is tap it and sacrifice a creature. It's not a creature. Tap it and sacrifice a treasure, draw a card. So getting some utility, you don't need any more mana, getting some utility and some card draw off those treasures. And first, there's a lot going on here. The fact that you can basically, it's some ramp because it's a land that you didn't have to play. It's a artifact that turns into a land, so it doesn't count as your land for the turn. So it's ramp, and it's card selection with the scry, and it's lots of mana with the treasure and all that stuff. But how gorgeous is that card frame and the card in general?
I like the fact that the dagger that's in the art is the same dagger that's in the art on the other side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As though, I've buried this and now here it is buried in real life. I also like the flavor of it, because you're putting markers on it like you're following the treasure map, and then when you get enough, you flip it and you're at the place where the treasure is.
Yeah, and here's your treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that I really do think is good. I really think that's cool.
I love everything about this card. In the daily update for Monday, they mentioned, I think it was Evan Irwin tweeted that this card frame, he felt like it was the exact opposite of the Amonkhet card frame. And Blake said, thanks, I think, because he was talking about how beautiful it was. And of course, Wizards doesn't want to say they didn't like the Amonkhet card frame. And I still like it for what it was, but I know the complaint was, we're talking about the invocations. They were too hard to read. It was very stylistic, but the art was minimalized and the text was so stylized you couldn't read it. And this is open and gorgeous and fits the theme so well. I'm gushing a little bit, but it's because it's awesome. So, Mike and Chewy, did you guys have anything to say?
I think it sucks. Not really. I think it's awesome, but we can't all agree.
It's helpful that the back face says it transforms from treasure map, so that if you're looking at it, if you're just looking at the images and a list of other things, and you'll, because other times there have been times when I've seen an image of just the back face of a card, another transformed card, and I'm like,
the hell is that?
Yeah, what is this? And I just can't for the life of me remember what it transforms from.
Didn't the creatures that merged say merge from this and that? I feel like they did.
Did they?
Maybe.
I'll look it up.
Scryfall. Brazilla.
Brazilla is what I'm looking for.
No, it does not say.
It doesn't say? I thought it did.
I didn't think it
did. Does the front side say anything about?
No.
Okay, I really thought it did. Okay.
All right. Well, Bruna
Bruna says melds with Gisela the Broken Blade.
Okay. So
Meld,
but,
not merge. Damn it, Brian.
But Gisela doesn't say anything, but Bruna does have a note. So on the front face of one of the cards in each pair, it says what it melds with.
But sorry, my bad, and my bag. I'm done now.
Thank you.
But I do think that is helpful. All right.
Oh,
So,
the
did you notice-
reason that only one of them has the reminder text melds with whatever is because on the other one is where the actual meld ability
so
is.
the
So
other
it
one's
mentions
already
both
gonna-
of them. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
But-
right.
but
Okay.
you
So
don't have
Bruna says melds with Gisela the Broken Blade because Gisela says blah blah blah. If this, that, the other with Bruna, then meld them. Yeah. Okay. But this is the first time we've seen the transforms from text, which I agree. I think is brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Makes it easier to keep track of things. And did you notice the card type symbol in the upper left corner of Treasure Cove?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. I
Yeah,
didn't.
those card type symbols that were introduced in Future Sight
Yeah.
and appeared in the
Cool.
Future Frame.
Except for the one on Treasure Map, which is
Well, no, the treasure map. That's the one on Treasure Map is this set's own transform
yeah.
symbol.
Anybody play any old Capcom games?
Maybe.
That's kind of a broad
Sure.
category. Capcom made a lot of games. So what are you thinking of?
Well, the symbol in the upper left of Treasure Map looks like the Yashishi.
It's like a compass rose to me.
This thing, right? Where is Discord? This thing right here,
Mhm.
which
Yes, it does.
Capcom used in a lot of their old games as just a thing, a collectible thing. It was in like Bionic Commando and Ghosts and Goblins and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of stuff like that. And that's what I see when I look at that.
I mean, is it a super old traditional symbol? Looks like
I
something
have
that could
no
be.
idea what it is.
Yeah, almost like a clan
In
symbol.
the Capcom database, the Yashishi is a trademark shuriken-like emblem found in many Capcom video games. Blah, 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 blah. First appeared in 1984 in Capcom's first title, Vulgus, as an enemy. Since then, it appeared in Mega Man. Da-da-da. Wow, it's been in a lot of games. Reference... Nope. Well, okay, this Capcom wiki entry doesn't say if it's based on any sort of Japanese anything.
I mean, it's got a circle and it's got something pointing in the four directions, so it seems like something that could be very old.
Yeah.
Could be. I just thought that's just what popped into my head when I saw that because I'm, an old school NES gamer, so.
Mhm.
If you look at it, that's totally what it is. Oh, I bet there's sails. You think that's what they're supposed to be, maybe?
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe.
I think that's a definite
Oh.
possibility.
Maybe.
Because, like, the compass rose is the set symbol, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's a sun,
Is that a sun?
isn't it?
Yeah.
We are all
it-
bad at this. Huh.
All right.
Yeah,
so
I think.
go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I agree with Mike. I think that's like an old timey symbol for the sun. That's what
Okay.
this faction, the symbol is for the set.
Weird. So, there is one more thing on the mechanics page.
No, that's it. Let's go to the next article.
Nope.
I'm kidding.
So on Monday Night Magic, we couldn't remember when they told us about this, but they did. And we think it was during the
Announcement
big
week.
announcement week, specifically the day where they told us about core sets and whatnot, is when they told us that the legend rule, the Planeswalker Uniqueness Rule was changing.
Because there's a lot of stuff.
I don't
going on
remember
there.
that being part of those announcements.
Well, I know that they told us this at some point, and that's the only time that it seems like it makes sense that I would forget. But
'Cause there's a lot of stuff
or
going
that
on.
so many people would forget, but
No, I don't remember it ever being addressed. I remember people starting to bring it up after they saw some of the partial text on this card on the crappy cell phone videos of the stolen sheet. But
oh, no, this is something that Wizards mentioned a long time ago, because when I read it, I went, oh, there it is. And I was like, wait, why was that my first reaction?
I don't remember that at all.
Well, anyway,
So yeah, the Planeswalker Uniqueness Rule is going away. Screw you, Planeswalker Uniqueness Rule. You made things work and make sense, so we're getting rid of you.
It made sense at the time that they implemented it. So
Yeah, so the Planeswalker Uniqueness Rule says you cannot have any more than one Planeswalker of the same type on the battlefield. So you can't have Jace Beleren and Jace the Mind Sculptor on the field at the same time. If you play the second one, you have to pick which one goes away.
right.
But
It used to be that there could only be one Planeswalker with that type on the battlefield, which is why people played Jace Beleren to get rid of Jace the Mind Sculptor.
right.
But that is not the rule now.
Yeah, that was a long time ago, so let's not
Yep.
confuse people. So the
I'm
current
old.
rule as of this recording is what I just said.
Right. But no longer.
But once Ixalan comes out, that's being changed. They're getting rid of the Planeswalker Uniqueness Rule, and all Planeswalkers are getting the super type Legendary. So now it's just the Legend Rule.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now you can have Legendary Planeswalker Garrick
Oh my God.
Wildspeaker and Legendary Planeswalker Garrick, some other Garrick name.
Primal Hunter.
There we go, Primal Hunter.
Let's assume one of them was called Primal Hunter.
Ooh,
think-
and I want
I
to
think
play
it
the
was.
oversized one.
So that means all the Jaces could be out on your side
Yes.
if the opportunity came up.
Now, if you had a Jace Beleren and you played another Jace Beleren, the name of the card, then yes, because they're still legendary. And this rule, according to this rule is retroactive, so it applies to all Planeswalkers that have been printed. Then you do have to sacrifice either the new one or the old one. But
Yes.
as Chewie said, now you can have Baby Jace and Jace the Mind Sculptor and Jace Architect of Thought and all the Jaces all the time. You can build the Jace deck.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that you can build a deck that's all Jaces all the time. And all they do is they just do the Jace thing. As long as, again, like what Brian's saying, you don't have two copies of the exact same card
Right.
of Jace, but all of his incarnations can be on the battlefield at once.
And it does say
Ugh.
all Planeswalkers, past, present, and future. So before you're starting to say, this means they can print a non-legendary Planeswalker. Well, it's true, and they'll never say that they can't do it, but obviously they have no intention of doing that, because it does take away from...
Being a
did-
planeswalker.
Right. The fact that that is a unique kind of identity. We don't want to see random goblin that happens to be a Planeswalker, because that doesn't have any identity to it. So.
Yeah, soon we'll have like non-legendary Goblin Planeswalker, and then non-legendary Goblin Warrior Planeswalker, non-legendary Goblin Wizard Planeswalker. What's their names? That is the name. Oh,
But exactly, and that just doesn't feel special. But I do think it's interesting because legendary Planeswalker takes up a lot more space than Planeswalker. That type line is going to run a room really fast.
well,
Yeah.
since they only ever put like first names,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like it's going to say legendary Planeswalker, Nicol Bolas the Third, Esquire. So I think one of the reasons they did this, of course, was because this lines it up perfectly with the legend rule. And they have wanted to tie these two together for a while and make it so that it's easier to understand. Another reason I think this makes some sense is because they really don't like type lines except for the super type legendary or other super types. They don't want subtypes to have rules baggage. Example, walls.
yep.
Well, no. This is just a type having rules baggage, and other subtypes have rule baggage too. Auras have rules baggage. Equipment have rules baggage.
Yes,
The land card type has rules baggage. So
But I
does a
think
creature.
but they want to minimize that to a certain extent. Where
Yeah, but
they
I
want
think
you-
I think what Brian is getting at is that the fact that it's a legendary Planeswalker Jace, they don't want that to matter.
right,
Because it only matters when there are other Planeswalker Jace
right,
on the
exactly.
battlefield.
Like with wall, you don't. If you played an old school wall and no one told you walls can't attack, then you wouldn't realize, oh wait, this wall can't attack. So the when you remove that and you give creatures defender, then it's more easily understood how that works.
All right. I think I'm just going to end up splitting hairs on a fine point that I disagree with you with. That doesn't actually matter.
That doesn't actually matter. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we understand that what we're saying is not completely accurate, but
Right.
I also understand the point Brian's getting at.
And thank you, Drew, and thank you, Mike, because I'm not trying to say something that's inaccurate. And sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. It's very tasty, and I'm not trying to upset anyone by saying and I'm not trying to upset anyone by making up rules or making statements about rules that are patently inaccurate. I'm just trying to say one of the things that I think could have been motivating them to make this change.
Does Brian's foot go with the bread and ketchup from earlier?
Oh, man.
But then it's not vegetarian.
But you do get the jam.
Jam!
So they gave us a nice preview card here to illustrate this change.
So this brings up a question, and I don't know if any of you know it or if any of you even care about answering it, but so if Jace is here, obviously Jace survived all the shenanigans that happened on the last plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been revealed to us in the story that everyone did survive. They just got their asses kicked and completely humiliated by Nicol Bolas in their defeat.
And in fact, obviously this is Jace, and we'll get to what he does in a minute, but Jace was the first one to fall. They're all confronting Nicol Bolas. They're trying to figure out what to do. And I'm assuming it's been enough time. It's been a couple of months since the story was revealed that I can go into this. I'm not spoiling it for anybody. Spoiler alert, I guess. Jace is trying to probe Nicol Bolas' mind, which
seems like a bad idea.
A little
You're
bit.
a funny guy.
And he actually Nicol Bolas actually let him do. He actually let him into his mind, which was a terrible idea. Because as soon as he did, he trapped his consciousness there and started to attack it to the point that Jace was nearing brain death. And he blindly planeswalked away. And, it was purely instinctive. He didn't even have time to tell the others this is what's going on. He's just like, and what I think would be really interesting is if he was facing another form of amnesia, because he's already forgotten basically about his childhood and growing up on that plane with the rings and his Sphinx teacher and all that. Basically, his life started over when he planeswalked to Ravnica, and I think it'd be kind of interesting that now he's kind of planeswalked to Ixalan with no knowledge or intent to do so. What if he wakes up and he's just like, who am I? Where am I? And while at the same time, I don't know if maybe for some people that would be like, again, maybe they'd feel like it was getting old, but we really haven't seen, no offense, but haven't really seen him grow a whole lot as a character. We've seen some of the other main characters change a little bit, especially Nissa and Chandra grow, but Jace not so much. Side note, and I swear I'm going to keep this short.
Lies.
But Mark Rosewater mentioned that we were going to see less of the Gatewatch going forward. I think what he was thinking was that we were tired of seeing the Gatewatch as the Gatewatch. For me, personally, it was more the fact that we saw those same characters over and over again. And here he says, we're not going to see the Gatewatch anymore. And here's Jace. And I'm just like, Argh! And I'm just
he didn't say you're not going to see anyone from the Gatewatch ever again.
What he meant was that the Gatewatch wouldn't be the story in every single set.
And I get that. And again, this is my personal reaction, but it's the first Planeswalker from the new set. It's like, okay, this is not addressing the issue that I had. My issue was not the fact that they formed the Gatewatch. I like the Oath cards. I thought it was interesting that they existed. It was, and no, I don't want to see all 5 of them show up or have them be the prominent members of the story, but I want some time away from them. And they keep showing up.
Okay, now you've turned into a random person on the internet and you're just bitching about stuff. Shut up, Brian. Okay.
This is the complaint I've had for a while, though. So,
but
I haven't.
They had to show this one first. Now, would you be having the same one if they'd shown some random other Planeswalker and then Jace? Or is it just because this is the first one you got and you were like, damn it?
I think that it was probably the fact that it was the first one. Later, I would have.
They may not even have intended to show Jace first.
Which is definitely true. Now, if they showed us another one and then we showed us Jace later, I would still probably be like, oh, it's him again. But when I'm like, hey, new Planeswalker type, and then I'm like, it's Jace, I'm like, didn't drown.
But regardless, I don't even know if this one was on the.
It was on the sheet.
Oh, it was.
Was
Okay.
it on the sheet?
And it gave away the upcoming rules change.
See, not like Chewy. I was not privy to this. So
yeah,
and it wasn't listed over. Go ahead, Chewy.
Mike pointed out that he said, I don't think it was in announcement week. And I've just looked while you guys were talking, and it wasn't. But I don't go to Reddit. I don't regularly dive into Twitter conversations about tedious crap, which this would be if there wasn't a card or an explanation for it. So why did this Planeswalker Uniqueness Rule going away not surprise me? It's just like, oh, there it is. Do
you think you heard it offhand from someone on Twitter or on Twitch or one of your MNM co-hosts or something?
I have no idea. I know that Bill and Clues also just don't bother with unofficial spoilers in the slightest, so I have no idea. But
if someone sent you a random tweet, just like
or an email or whatever,
heard that they were going to be making this, and even if you thought, oh well, I haven't heard anything about that, and then it didn't come up under anything official, your brain would have filed that away somewhere without you even realizing. So
I guess. So now I feel bad because I might have lied to people. It seems like I lied to people on Monday Night Magic, but they're used to it.
I feel better because I didn't remember it, and I was like, I usually try and make a note of stuff. So I feel better now. So much better.
Okay, then. So the reason that, even though it was on the sheet, the reason they had to show this one first was because this is them making use of their new design space.
Right. I get that.
So,
and I don't mean to complain too much. I'm done complaining now, and I think the card is an interesting
So maybe
card.
because of that, they would have shown it first anyway.
Yeah. Just because, hey, look, we changed this rule. Here's why. Look what we can do now. Isn't this crazy? And crazy is a good word for it.
Yes.
So, I will do the first part. Jace, cunning castaway. He looks just like Tom Hanks, except dreamier.
We don't usually see his face.
And there's a reason for that, because he sucks. Or
his pecs.
Look at those rippling muscles, let's say. So, Jace Cunning Castaway has the old school, delicious mana cost of 1 blue.
Let's face it, though. If you were running around with Gideon all the time, you would not be anxious to show your pecs or your muscles either.
Right?
Because
it's like, I have nothing. There was something, but it was probably inappropriate, and my brain booted it out before it made its way to my mouth. So, I got nothing. Anyway, so... he costs 1 blue, and he starts with 3 loyalty. And he's a legendary Planeswalker Jace. Wow. So, hey, Dirk. Oh,
yes.
Dirk. Oh, there he is. What's his first ability?
His first one is a +1. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, this turn, draw a card. Then discard a card.
Seems
nice. Good. Effective, doesn't target, which is important. And it only triggers once no matter how many creatures you control. And how many of them deal combat damage. But, yeah.
It can trigger separately for first strike and normal.
Yes. Much like what we were saying earlier.
Oh, yes. It can, can't it?
About Enrage. Dude, Jace has many Enrage.
Oh, because it's whenever.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's combat damage, so no pinging or anything like that. So
I did not even catch that it would pay double attention to first strike and double strike.
Right.
Yeah, and multiple combat phases and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but not multiple creatures.
Nice.
Yeah.
But it's still, hey, did anybody hit him? Okay, we're going to loot.
Yeah.
At its most basic. It's not like, okay, 5 people hit, so we're going to loot 5. No.
Divided by 2, carry the 1.
Carry the 1. Why is it always the 1 that people carry? That's so weird.
I think that's the most common thing you end up carrying.
Yeah, probably.
Unless you're adding like 3 or more numbers together.
And what sort of communist adds 3 or more numbers together? All right, so because I know it's killing Brian. Mike, what's the second ability?
The second ability is a -2. Create a 2/2 blue illusion creature token with, when this creature becomes the target of a spell, sacrifice it.
He makes bears.
Huh. Just spell, not spell or ability.
It is not spell or ability. Yeah.
That's useful.
Yeah.
So they can hold equipment. You can move auras onto them, but you can't cast auras to put on them.
Right.
Yeah.
You can pump them up with some sort of effect. You can ping them. You can prevent damage to them with, creature abilities and whatnot. They're more robust, but most importantly, as Bill pointed out, they can hold swords,
Yes.
which was a problem with the old illusions. It's like, all right, take the sword and bing, damn it.
I'm actually, I was complaining earlier, and it's mostly because of what I've already said, but I really like this Jace, without even getting to the last part yet, because the first ability I feel like is a good ability without being broken, but also because the second ability is so central to Jace. We haven't really seen this on a Jace card, the ability to create illusions, unless I'm missing one. There's been lots of Jaces, but every time you read a story, it is very specifically spelled out that is one of the things that he can actually do quite competently, is create illusions.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we've actually seen that addressed on a Jace card. Every other Jace has focused on mind control or psychic ability, and this is the first one to do that. And there's a part of me that when I saw that ability said, finally.
Yeah, like I'm sure there were some creature cards that were named Jace's whatever, and they were illusions. So there were some other creature illusions that had him in the background in the art or saying the flavor text or whatever. Right. But you're right, there hasn't been a Planeswalker Jace card that made illusions.
Yeah, thank you. I know that there were some Jace's Phantasm and stuff in Magic Origins, but yeah, this is the first time it's been addressed on a Jace Planeswalker, and that kind of counteracted I was very happy to see. So,
yeah, that is a nice touch, and also it's a 3-mana Planeswalker that can create a creature.
Yes, without destroying itself.
Yeah, it's cool. So, okay, Brian, what's his limit break?
All right, so what kind of design space have we opened up with this new legendary super type? Well, it's not new, but applying it here. Well, for -5, you create 2 tokens that are copies of Jace, Cunning Castaway, except they're not legendary.
What?
And see, I just kind of picture the guy that uses a bead for tokens, and now he's going to have to put a dice on that bead. This is definitely one of the ones where I feel like you're just going to probably make an image of Jace Cunning Castaway and just print it out to have more tokens, because you're going to want to, it's going to be easier to read it if you have the full image, although I guess you could just use the first one for reference, but you're definitely going to have a die on it or something to indicate counters, because it's going to be very difficult to keep track of. But
I just like the idea of a bead, like, this is Jace. And then,
but
like, the real Jace looks over at the bead and goes, not my best work.
So once again, this is going to illusions, except that these illusions
are much more
amazing,
lifelike.
are much more lifelike because, okay, so there's 2 of them. That's crazy, because then you can +1 and minus another one. The fact that they, aren't creatures means that you can go ahead and use an ability on each one of them immediately. So, and God forbid if you start ticking them up, if you exponential, what I'm getting at here, how many Jaces is too many Jaces? And then I'm going to say it. I had already thought of this, and then I listened to Monday Night Magic, and it was brought up because everybody has probably thought of it at some point. Doubling season.
Yep.
Play doubling season, play Jace Cunning Castaway, comes in with 6 counters instead of 3, -5 him, get 2 new Jaces, which, by the way, come in with 6 instead of 3, and you see where I'm going with this.
Well, with one of them you make it 2/2, with the other one you make 2 copies.
Right. Well, I was gonna
2/2s because of doubling season.
I was gonna make an arbitrary.
Holy crap!
I was gonna make it.
And the token, you'll actually get 4 token
And you'll get
copies.
4 Jaces.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Too much money. It doesn't matter. The point is the number gets really big.
You make an arbitrarily large number of Jaces, and then with the newest batch, once you've made like 40, just take that newest batch and minus them all too, and get that many times 2 apparently bears. Anyway, insane. Doubling season broke a planeswalker. Gee, alert the media.
Right?
But
Hey, that's us.
But I that's a very loose form of the word media. But in these days, almost anyone could be media, I guess. Let's not get into Sullivan v. New York.
Nerd.
We don't know that one.
Anyway, really interesting, really unique, flavorful limit break that ties into the identity of the card and does something we haven't really seen before. So awesome. I like this guy. My earlier comment notwithstanding, again, I just don't want to see the same planeswalkers over and over again. I think this is a really neat card, and in the end, I'm glad that it's here because I think it brings something really special to the set. Now, I do hope in the story he ends up splashing around in the water at least once. Help me.
Splish splash, I was taking a bath on about a Ixalan night. Anyway.
But
okay, for some reason I didn't notice until just now, like the different background frame treatment on the Planeswalker frame.
Oh, I had not noticed that either.
And I'm looking at other versions of Jace from other sets, and they all have it. I'm like,
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'm just, let's see here. How far back does it go? All the way back to Lorwyn. Never freaking noticed that.
You never noticed that?
With that water, no, the water around the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've never noticed that either. It's just,
I had.
It's just a thing.
I mean, that doesn't make me feel special. I just kind of assumed, so I didn't feel like bringing it up because I thought everybody saw it. It's neat.
Huh. Way to go, Mike. You made us all but Brian feel stupid.
No,
I feel bad for not
saw it
saying
too.
anything.
Oh, did Dirk see it too? Damn it.
I'm just here. Like,
Dirk doesn't want to make anybody mad.
I'm just I just thought that was interesting about it. So is it?
It is.
That's the same frame or a different frame?
No, it's the same one that's been there since the first Jace.
Yeah,
Right.
since forever.
They
I just didn't notice
All
it
of
had
the blue
that.
planeswalkers have that same frame, or just Jace?
Oh, I don't know.
Are there any other mono blue ones?
Original Tomio.
Tomio. Yeah, let's see. If I could spell it.
Yep, it's the same. Okay, we
Well,
just
then.
have not noticed that at all, Mike. It's just you and me.
Okay.
We are the dumb, and we admit it.
Oh, I
Right,
see
wait.
it. I see that same wavy treatment on Tomio's gold frame. Oh, is it like that on every Planeswalker? Period.
Chandra. Okay, so we're both doing that too. Yes, it is.
Yes,
That is
okay.
exactly the frame that's always there on every Planeswalker.
Good job, guys.
Jesus.
Oh man,
Really bad at this game.
The worst. Hang on.
astonishingly so.
Hang on, wait. Mike, look up Liliana. I'm looking up Garrick.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I surrender. I'll just cut all this out.
So,
No,
So-
don't do that.
so that was the mechanics article, but they also posted all the cards that had been revealed prematurely.
Yes.
There's a lot here.
Yeah, well, I do not see us getting through all of these tonight because we're dumb.
Well, do you want to
It is
Go on.
worth noting that the Buddy Lands, is that what they're called?
the Buddy Lands
That's
that
what I
were
like to
introduced
call
in M10? Yeah.
Yeah, the M10 lands, Dragon Skull Summit, Drowned Catacomb, Glacial Fortress, Rootbound Crag, Sun Petal Grove are all back in Ixalan.
With awesome art.
Oh, dude, I just saw the dinosaur on Rootbound Crag. Sick.
Yeah.
So wait a minute, how many factions are there?
4.
Oh, okay. I was saying, I wonder if each of these is a faction because the red-green one is clearly the dinosaur, and this one is clearly the merfolk, but then it sort of falls apart after that.
Yeah. Glacial
Or-
Fortress and Drowned Catacomb look like they could be related, but who knows?
Yeah. The Dragon Skull Summit art is completely sick. Oh my god. That's pretty. With the big dragon skull summit. Anyway.
Right.
So those are good. Now what? Just pick something out?
Pick something out. I'm going to go ahead and pick out River's Rebuke.
The hell is that?
It's a blue card.
It's a blue card.
For 4 and 2 blue, it's a sorcery. It's rare. Return all non-land permanents target player controls to their owner's hand. So, just, hey, Mike, pick up all your stuff. Now, do I think that's a little interesting? Yes. Do I think it's a little mean to one person, and in Commander it might earn you some mean looks? Yes. But that's not the most interesting part of this card. The most interesting part of this card is the flavor text. Chewie, read the flavor text.
Carefully following the thaumatic compass Bolas had given her, Vraska blundered straight into the River Herald's trap. Okay.
I feel like it's a bit of a story, bomb drop. So Vraska is there and Bolas gave her something that means Bolas cares what happens here.
Well, it is one of the story spotlight cards.
Oh, is it?
It's 3 of 5.
The problem I have with the story spotlight line is that I never see it.
It's also they have the Planeswalker symbol watermark in the text box.
Ooh, now I gotta look and see if there's any others. Thank you,
There's
Mike.
one more.
There's one more? Which one's that?
It's a black card, Vraska's Contempt.
Oh, that's 2. It wasn't long before the taverns of High and Dry were full of whispers about the new captain who could turn a person to stone with a glance. Oh. Okay. I guess I'll read the card. Then Vraska's Contempt for 2 black is an instant. Exile target creature or planeswalker, you gain 2 life. So she just turns people to stone and feels better.
So for 1 more mana than Hero's Downfall, it becomes an instant. Because Hero's Downfall was a sorcery, wasn't it?
Instant.
Wasn't it? Okay. It was the one that woke up a land was a sorcery.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that one.
But this then gains you 2 life. So it's Hero's Downfall. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to draw a comparison. There's things that are different, but 4 mana, exile a creature, planeswalker, gain 2 life. Fairly efficient, yeah. And so story-wise, so I guess we're focusing on Vraska right now, which is cool because we haven't really seen a whole lot of her, like not a lot of in-depth story. She's a scary Gorgon that was mad at Jace on Ravnica, and
yeah, she was a tertiary character at best.
Yes.
So it's cool that they've not only have they brought her back, but they've thrust her into the spotlight.
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of did something similar with Tamio, right? She was only kind of there originally in the first Innistrad? No, where was she?
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, she was in Innistrad.
Okay, yeah.
And then she definitely got a much, much bigger role in Shadows over Innistrad.
Yeah, so how long until we see Dovin Bond as the main character? Hopefully like 6-8 years. Oh.
Hey, Dirk, is there a card that's stood out to you?
One that I looked at and just sort of glanced and it I thought was interesting was the Carnage Tyrant.
I knew it.
Yeah.
This card is so stupid.
For 4 and 2 green, it's a 7/6 dinosaur that is mythic. Carnage Tyrant cannot be countered, trample, and hexproof.
How annoying is that going to be?
Someone's going to think it's annoying.
Extremely. And listener AJ sent me this picture and pointed out the flavor text. Sun Empire commanders are well versed in advanced martial strategy. Still, the correct maneuver is usually to deploy the giant implacable death lizard.
Yep, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it.
So yeah, this thing is brutal. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Seems good.
Seems terrifying.
That too.
And again, somewhat frustrating. Mike, was there something that really intrigued you?
Yeah, Mike, with your face.
One card that stood out to me is a card that has every Magic player's favorite number on it.
Double?
No, favorite number, not word.
No.
The Star of Extinction.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For 5 red, it's a mythic sorcery. Destroy target land. Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker.
Oh, wow.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's
And I do
literally-
not feel fine.
It is literally the asteroid impact, except it's happening here. I'm kind of surprised. I wonder if this is even going to happen in the story, or if it's just like a prophecy.
Yeah, or if it's just like
Yeah.
a really sick card that they just couldn't resist.
Yeah,
Mm,
that they had to do it, but it can't happen in the story because then the story would just be over. Oh,
Yeah, the flavor text seems like it might just be a vision. Well, it says so. The visions haunt me. I see the end of the world, brought on by the search for the immortal sun. S-U-N, sun.
yeah.
Oh, so maybe this set symbol is a representation of the immortal sun.
Might be.
mm.
But it also looks like a compass rose, damn it.
It might be intended to look like both.
Ah, they do that with set symbols on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the
A
next
double
card.
meaning.
The next card I wanted to talk about is one that I wanted to see if I could get there before Mike, because
Oh.
and I think it'll become very apparent why. Mike likes, what was that array? The Hedron array
Oh, Hedron alignment.
and Maze's End and all that. And I
Mhm.
saw this card and I was like, ooh, I want to build this deck. And I don't even know all the stuff that it would take to make it work, but it would be awesome. It's Revel in Riches for 4 and a black. It's an enchantment. It's rare. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, create a treasure. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more treasures, you win the game.
Holy crap. So once you're Scrooge McDuck, then you win.
Yep.
Life is like a hurricane.
I got all the gold, bitch. I win. And everyone's like, damn, he got all the gold, bitch. He wins.
I want the gold. Give me the gold.
Money can't buy happiness, but you can bribe your way to winning a card game.
Judge, no, it's legal.
I just like it. I think it's really interesting.
That is really cool. I hadn't seen that one because I haven't actually paid much attention to these.
That's one definitely worth trying.
I figured you would.
Okay, let's see. What is one that I read? Well, I read the Carnage Tyrant. It was a gold card. Oh, it's Admiral Beckett Brass.
Yeah, this was the wallpaper for this week.
Admiral Beckett Brass costs 1 and a Grixis, so 1 blue, black, red, for a 3/3 legendary human pirate who is mythic. And other pirates you control get +1/+1 because, he's an admiral.
She.
Yep.
The name Beckett? Really?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot easier to see on the wallpaper.
I guess it would be. Yeah, I haven't seen that. Hey, find me a link while I read this, would you? Because
Sure.
now I'm looking at the art, and I'm like, I really want to see this full size because I
I'm
bet
on
it's
it.
funny.
Keep going.
So other pirates you can control get +1/+1. So clearly she's a privateer because admiral. Otherwise it'd just be Yarrr, At the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who was dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. So the flavor is the pirates attack someone and then they pillage.
Mm-hmm.
So gimme that. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and I like how well it ties in with Raid, because to deal combat damage, with 3 or more pirates, you have to have attacked with 3 or more pirates.
I don't want to download the freak. I just want to look at it. Is there really not just a look at this button?
Well, there is. I mean, you can click on it and then choose to open it instead of download it. I guess it depends on which browser you're
There it
using to
goes.
view it.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that she was standing in front of a destroyed, what is that part of the ship called?
It's the rail,
Is that okay?
like
Is that it?
the railing.
I figured that would have a nice ship name where, scurvy dogs and whatnot.
No, that her ship just blew a hole in it, and she's come aboard to say,
Yeah,
you're mine.
this is all
awfully
mine
nice
now.
ship there.
Yeah.
Be
Be
ashamed
ashamed.
if somebody were to take this, wouldn't it?
Oh, but she looks like such a kindly old woman
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
with a
like,
big
oh.
ass scimitar.
Now read her flavor text again like you would an elderly grandma.
Flavor. Hang on, I gotta go find it again. You and your ship will make a fine addition to my... What? Oh, my fleet. Oh, I need a nice lie down.
I didn't say she was decrepit.
Yeah, man, she's a 3/3. She will mess you up. I'm like a 1/1 at best.
Dude, I'm like a little girl. I'm a half-half.
You're a half.
So, Dirk, if you liked the Carnage Tyrant, how do you feel about this here multicolored dinosaur avatar?
So that one is Gishath,
Sure.
Sun's avatar. And it is a very angry Tyrannosaurus on steroids.
That
So for
got
5,
into mom's makeup.
yeah. So for 5, red, green, white. So that's what, Jund?
Naya.
Naya, okay. Legendary creature, dinosaur avatar that is a 7/6 and is mythic. Trample, vigilance, and haste.
Oh.
I wonder why this costs so much. Whenever Gishath, Sun's avatar, deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Damn.
That many cards.
Cacaw.
Mm-hmm.
And it has trample.
And a haste. So you're just like, do.
Yeah.
I'm here, I'm smashing your face. I got more dinosaurs? Now I got more dinosaurs. They don't go into your hand, they go into the battlefield. Rawr.
Yeah, Gishath would be a great commander.
Jesus.
I don't like you anymore. I was just thinking about during a normal game, having to face that thing down more than once, it actually honestly would be an amazing commander. Now you just need enough dinosaurs to fill out your deck.
Yeah, that's the only issue is that this is probably the first set with dinosaurs as a creature type.
Does Conspiracy... Well, that's a black card.
Well, except for all the changelings.
Well, there's the changelings. There's the changelings. The blue Conspiracy from New Phyrexia, the enchantment. Does that affect creature cards that are not on the battlefield? I have to look that up.
So,
Talking about Xenographed?
Yes.
I think it only affects the battlefield.
I'll
so
look it
there's each creature you control, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
All
there
right.
is one dinosaur that is currently in Magic. The old fogey.
I don't want him to phase.
Phasing, cumulative upkeep 1, echo, fading 3, bands with other dinosaurs. Hey!
Hey, look at that.
Protection from hominids, snow-covered planeswalk, that's plains, Plains, flanking, rampage 2.
Mhm.
Oh, such a classic. And the flavor text sounds like, well, Brian, these kids today with their collector numbers and their newfangled tap symbol, 20 black lotuses and 20 plague rats. Now that's real magic.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I get the feeling like there are some candidates from very old Magic cards that might be retroactively given the creature type. And
Maybe.
I think Pygmy Allosaurus will get its original printed dinosaur creature type restored.
Nice.
And what about the Allosaurus rider? Technically, it's a person riding the Allosaurus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that'll stay an elf.
Okay.
I mean, like a knight riding a horse, it isn't a it isn't a human horse knight. It's just a
Yeah, now if the
That
Allosaurus
horse is
Rider had
amazing.
the creature type beasts, then it might, but
Right.
yeah, since it's not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems good though. I like it. What else you got, Mike? You're so smart with your face again.
Let's see. Here's a card that might encourage a very old style of deck to come back. The Deep Root Champion is a green card. For 1 and a green, it's a 1/1 rare merfolk shaman. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Deep Root Champion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mono green merfolk.
So you can build a Miracle Grow deck.
Oh, and Brian's right. It's a mono green merfolk shaman.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, you could always build what a green, black, blue merfolk deck. Well, no, I was thinking of fairies whenever I was thinking of, so blue, green merfolk deck.
Which I think that's going to be what merfolk are in this set is blue, green, and
Mm-hmm.
possibly something else.
I think it's just blue and green. There were black merfolk in Shadowmoor.
Yeah.
And there were white ones in Lorwyn.
Yeah.
I don't think there have been any red ones except for Goblin Merfolk.
Goblin merfolk, yeah. All right, let's look at a white card. Something we haven't.
How about Settle the Wreckage?
Yeah, it seems to be the one everyone wants to talk about.
Because it's for 2 and 2 white. It's an instant, as it has to be. It's a rare. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. Blink them? No, just exile them. That player may search his or her library for that many basic land cards, put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle his or her library. I kept reading this card expecting to see the part where they would come back. They don't. This is a straight up, I'm swinging at Chewy with these 3 creatures, and he's like, they're exiled. You get to get some lands tapped.
Yeah, it's a super path for attacking creatures.
It's a super path for attacking creatures. It feels closer to Wrath of God. One-sided Wrath of God.
Highway to Exile.
I'm like...
Danger zone.
This feels insane. In Limited, I don't know how you beat this card in Limited. I think you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you just hope that you have something that costs 8 in your hand and you tap out and play it.
Next turn, the lands you just got are...
See, what's neat about this card is that it gets around so many issues.
Yeah, like
because
vehicles.
All your indestructible creatures,
yep,
the gigantic Eldrazi creatures, all of those, it just says, they're exiled.
Yeah, and it hits vehicles, which most board sweepers don't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as, they're turned on and attacking, but chances are they're turned on and attacking.
And you don't have to spend your turn doing it. You spend their turn doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you play around this? You don't attack with your best stuff? Well, sure. Then you're not attacking with your best stuff. So
I could just see, like, when our games back in college, when it was, I'm going to attack with these 18 things. Okay.
I mean,
settle the wreckage. Well, you get to go get all your lands out of your deck.
Good job, but now you're all your stuff exiled. Exiled. Yeah. What the?
Like, yeah, that's a big deal.
They have talked about starting to swing the pendulum back a little bit. Maybe not making creatures worse, but making threats better, or not making answers better. This feels like a really good answer.
Yeah.
So I saw that and I was just like, buh. No, I can't do it. All right. But yeah, what's something somebody else saw in white or maybe blue, or what have we not covered? Well, we've covered a little bit of everything.
Oh, wait, here's a white vampire, Mavrin Fane. Fine. Dusk Apostle. For 2 and a white is a legendary vampire cleric that's rare for a 2/2.
That is a lot of words that don't usually go together.
Yeah, right. Whenever one or more... That's racist. Whenever one or more non-token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token, with lifelink. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you don't have to pay any mana to do it.
Yeah, just have to swing with a vampire and vampire jumps out.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And apparently in the flavor text it says, in the rapture of his blood fast, which is capitalized. So it tells you it's this very ritualized thing. It's not just, he did a blood fast. It's the blood fast. He destroyed the navigator's tools and steered the ship to shore by faith alone.
Whoa, religious vampires. This makes my head hurt.
Well, now for contrast, go to black and look at the blood-crazed paladin.
Blood-crazed paladin. Okay.
Go ahead and read it.
For 1 and a black, he's a 1/1 vampire knight with flash. Wow, a 1/1 knight. Work it out there, buddy. Blood-crazed paladin enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died this turn. Yeah, okay. That's good.
Now read the flavor text.
When a paladin undertaking the blood fast finally gives in to hunger, the violence is sudden, explosive, and complete. Oh, and he's kneeling amongst looks like corpses of merfolk that he has,
dispatched.
Eaten.
So, without knowing anything else about the story, it looks like the blood fast is basically they give up blood for some period of time until they just can't take it anymore, and then they just go
crazy.
But yeah, like you said, religious fervent vampires. Paladins. Paladin is not a word you usually use with vampires, but it's a knight of a holy order, right? Of a religious sect. So yeah.
Huh, neat.
Well, one that I see that I'm surprised you guys haven't, or Brian hasn't said, Dirk, this one's you, is Tashana, Voice of Thunder.
I figured you'd be getting to that one.
Mm-hmm. I had a feeling you guys were like, yeah, we'll just wait.
Yeah.
So for 5, a green and a blue, legendary creature, merfolk shaman, that is a star and is mythic. Tashana, Voice of Thunder's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand.
So
you have no
Morrow.
maximum hand size.
So she's a Morrow and a spell book.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And
when Tashana enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control.
What's that card? Because that's a card.
Not Zagana. That's not what Zagana does.
Draw a card for each.
Oh, it's that green creature. It costs like 8. He's a 5/5. Dang it.
ancient.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Collective Unconscious. That's the one I'm.
Yeah,
thinking
it's a spell
of.
that does that.
There's
That creature. Dang it.
Nope. Armorcraft
Looks like a
Judge
weird-
draws cards for each creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Inspiring
looks like a
Call
weird frog thing.
does the same thing. Well, okay. I did a search on Scryfall for, quote, draw a card for each creature you control. So he might do something different, whoever you're thinking of.
Maybe.
So she's a Morrow, a spellbook, and a Collective Unconscious on one card.
Mm-hmm.
Collective Unconscious, I would like to point out, costs 6. So that means
Spellbook costs 0.
yeah, so that means that you're getting 10 mana's worth of stuff and 3 cards worth of stuff for 7 mana. Seems okay.
I say she'd make she makes a good commander. Because she doesn't need to be, she can handle herself, but she does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking sick is what that is.
I'd have to dig out all my Morrows. I have to take apart the Saviors of Kamigawa deck just so I could get all the good stuff out of that and stick it in that commander deck. If I were to build one of those.
Yeah.
Regal Force was the card I was thinking of, but it only counts green creatures.
Oh, the frog
yeah.
thing. Now I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's played in some elf decks, right? So cool.
Neato. Mosquito.
How about you, Mike?
Yeah, Mike. I don't know why I do that every time Brian says, how about you, Mike?
Grizzlebrand.
So smart. Let's see here. Doop-de-doo. Well, since it's us, I guess I'll point out this one. The Shaper's Sanctuary. For a single green mana, it's a rare enchantment. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card.
Leave my stuff alone.
Yeah.
Huh. Or mess with my stuff so I can have more stuff.
Yeah. Apologize for burning down my village.
Give me some gold.
Or no, you can't say treasure because that's a thing. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. We've talked about these other 3 gold cards.
Yup.
Multicolored cards. Sorry, gold apparently has a meaning. Treasure and all that good stuff. So this is the Hostage Taker. For 2, a blue, and a black. It is a 2/3 human pirate. It's rare. When it enters the battlefield, you exile target artifact or creature until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast that spell. So he shows up, he says, you're coming with me, and
Press ganged.
yeah, and as long as you've got it, you can go ahead and pay for it, and it's yours. Otherwise, if the opponent manages to kill the hostage taker, then they get the hostage back. But if you've taken the time to then cast it, they don't get it back. At that point, it's yours.
Yeah, Bill pointed out to me that he read the first part of this card and was like, yeah, whatever, okay. And then he read the rest and he went, wait, what?
Yeah. He's obviously not looking for ransom because...
Nah. Press ganged. Right? That's the word for that, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Get your ass in my crew. Hurry up.
Yeah, the thing is,
do you fear death?
I
I'm glad he got it.
Yarrr.
I
Yes,
remember
Mike.
reading at least a couple people using this as an example for why they thought the leaked sheet might be fake, because it seems to be missing a word that would make the written text cause problems.
Okay, wait,
So
hang
as
on.
written-
Wait. Exile hostage... Okay, when hostage taker enters the battlefield, exile target of a creature until hostage leaves the battlefield. Okay, that sounds good. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any type. Of any type? Huh. Okay, I don't see anything missing. It sounds good.
Well, as written, hostage taker's ability can target itself.
Oh, the word another is missing.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
You-
conceivably, unless I'm misunderstanding how these zone changes with the duration effects work, unless I'm misunderstanding that,
Until he leaves the battlefield. So
you could use this to get some arbitrarily large number of
enters the
enter
battlefield.
and or leaves the battlefield events
Me, you're coming with me.
to run up the triggers on something else.
You're coming with me, all right? Here I am. Me again. You're coming with me again. All right? Here I am.
I'm over here. Now I am back over here.
Give me back. Okay, I'm back. Now let's go.
And and there's a dinosaur standing there looking at this going, huh?
What is going on?
I must be going.
I wish I was enraged, but I don't think I am.
Good lord.
So,
So let's
All right.
hope that either they errata that or it's just a misprint and they meant to put that on there or something.
Yeah,
Because
or maybe I'm misunderstanding how the zone changes with the duration work.
that could also be possible, but I would lean more towards the other one, given their track record lately of just missing things. So, speaking of I wish I was enraged, did you guys see the Ripjaw Raptor?
yes.
It's in
Yes.
green.
Yes.
I like this card. It's a 4/5 for 2 green. It's rare. So it's a 4 mana 4/5 within rage. Whenever it's dealt damage, draw a card, like Brian said earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But on a 4/5
for 4.
for 4
Yeah.
seems good.
Seems pretty good.
Well, one that I looked at, and the big reason why I looked at this card is because of the art. The Sunbird's Invocation.
Yeah, this is a neat
Ooh,
card.
that's pretty.
That's a really, it's just, like, I don't know, it just feels like that is really beautiful art.
Oh, wait,
So
yeah.
for five and a red, it's a rare enchantment.
Oh god, red rare enchantment.
Well,
Yeah.
wait. This is not a bad one.
Yeah, whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the spell's converted mana cost. You may cast a card revealed this way with converted mana cost X or less without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Oh my god, it's almost Cascade.
It's almost
Yeah, it's
Cascade.
a less broken Cascade.
It's a less broken Cascade that doesn't actually chain down. So Cascade, you always get something that costs less than the original spell. This can actually be equal to the original spell, but you don't keep going until you find it. You just look at the top X cards.
Wow, that's cool.
I see this becoming a staple in casual just because it's a
Because it's
huge
sweet.
effect.
Yeah.
It's probably too expensive for competitive unless there's some kind of weird control-y deck that just wants to do this. But, I mean, you know, free spells are always free spells. But
Approach of the Second Sun.
Mike.
Who is a bastard. Mike.
I forgot about that.
Wait, what does approach cost?
7.
7.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
So play this on turn 6.
And then do Star of Extinction.
Well, then if you play, Mike's point is if you play Approach of the Second Sun and you hit another Approach of the Second Sun, you just...
Oh, God.
Yeah, you just win.
Isn't that... I figured that was what he was going for.
See, my brain is still treating this like Cascade. I'm like, oh, but it costs 7, so you can't... No, that's not what it does at all. Good Lord. Anyway.
Maybe that's the stupid standard deck I'm going to build. The Sunbird's Approach deck.
Dude, we're on this. We're gonna make a dumb Mike deck great again. We turned your really terrible Goblin deck into a super sick Big Red deck that I still miss.
Oh man, me too.
I've gotten a chance to talk about it on the last 2 Monday Night Magics because Shrine of Burning Rage showed up in a Modern Burn deck.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was
2
awesome.
weeks ago, and then on this week's episode, we talked about the throwback standard gauntlet on Moto, where they're doing World Wake standard, and there was a deck that had Koth with Shrine of Burning Rage, but it was an aggro deck, and I'm like, no, Big Red, man, Big Red all the way. Anyway.
Chewy, have you read Boneyard Parlay?
Boneyard, I saw that. That's in...
Black.
Okay, I didn't read it, but I saw the name.
Go ahead and read it.
Boneyard Parlay, 5 black, mythic sorcery. Okay, exile up to... Is that Barbosa in the art?
Might be.
Is that Jeffrey Rush? Jeffrey Rush, get your ass in another movie and quit being on Magic cards. Anyway, exile up to 5 target creature cards from graveyards. Okay. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. Put all cards from the pile of your choice onto the battlefield under your control, and the rest into their owner's graveyards. 5 target creature cards from graveyards.
Yes. It's fact or fiction recursion.
Whoa, that's cool.
I thought you'd like
So
that.
you're like, okay, you've got these 2 things that I really want, and I've got these 3 things that I really want. Hey, make some piles, tool. Because you're a pirate, so, Yarrr.
And much like the original fact or fiction, you're always going to get
Exactly
at
what
least
you
the
want.
one you want. Yeah. It costs 7, but,
But it's
has
because it's
to.
throwing things directly on the battlefield, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like the way he's standing on a pile of bones, and there's like a dinosaur skull and a more different dinosaur skull and some sort of other skull, and they're all glowing because clearly that's the pile he picked.
I think it's a dinosaur skull and a large predatory cat skull and a human skull. that are
Ah,
glowing.
okay. Something like that. Looks kind of like a giant sloth, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be a sloth skull. You're right.
Wow, that's cool. All right. Are there any of these legendary creatures that we didn't hit yet? I know there's one in blue that we didn't talk about.
There's one in blue and there's at least one in red. So.
But now I can't find the blue one. Oh,
The
it's
blue
Kapala.
one is-
Oh my god, yeah. Hey, Mike.
Yes.
You should read Kapala.
Kopala, Warden of Waves. For 1 blue, it's a 2/2 legendary merfolk wizard. Rare. Spells your opponents cast that target a merfolk you control cost 2 more to cast. Abilities your opponents activate that target a merfolk you control cost 2 more to activate.
But what if it costs 2 more? there's been a lot of people on Twitter trying to figure out if this replaces Kira Great Glass Spinner in Modern Merfolk. And personally, I don't think so.
I don't know.
But I
It's
wonder if
tough.
it would go in addition to Kira Great Glass Spinner.
Buh.
I mean, it's the big advantage is that it benefits from the Merfolk tribal stuff that's filling out the rest of your deck.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big advantage.
Okay.
Otherwise, the bubble it creates isn't as powerful as Kira's bubble.
Yeah, because Kira's definitely eats up 2 spells.
Yeah.
Whereas this one just slows down spells.
Yeah.
That target.
And I can't think of many situations where Kopala's ability would shut them down completely, while Kira's ability would give them the opportunity to do 2 things and still kill a creature. I'm sure those situations exist, but they're that's a very narrow band.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and step in here real quick before we get back to the other legendary creatures. And I had mentioned that there was at least one card that I wanted to bring up from the daily update, and it was revealed on the August 29th daily update. And the original card is in German, but Blake was nice enough to include a link to the translation on Reddit, and he said that it was accurate. So here's this. Deep Root Waters for 2 and a blue. It's an enchantment. It's uncommon, and it has whenever you cast a merfolk spell, create a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token with hexproof.
You don't have to pay mana for that?
No. Is this modern playable?
Did you say it was in the 29th?
Yes. It's number 2 on the 29th.
Ah, thank you. Whenever you cast a merfolk creature spell, you get a merfolk with hexproof. Wow.
And all that deck is basically just played
Oh
merfolk
god,
lore.
Dirk, you okay?
That deck is just play merfolk lords like Lord of Atlantis and all of the other 2-drop merfolk lords, right?
Yes.
And so just loads,
Dirk, you're not muted.
So I just saw that and I was like, that just feels.
Screw these guys. It's snack time.
It sounded like
I
Pringles.
thought I was muted. Sorry.
What was it? Pringles?
Just chips.
Okay.
There was this god-awful noise. I was like, oh god, Dirk, are you alright? There's no response. And then I hear crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm like, oh my god.
I am better than you can imagine.
So I don't I don't know about modern playable because it does you spend 3 mana to do nothing right now.
Nothing right now, but the fact that it gives them hexproof, I think is
It doesn't synergize with Aethervile
There's also that.
at all.
That's true.
Oh yeah, and Aethervile is the huge part of why that deck works so well.
That is true.
Huh.
Okay,
But-
well, I'm not a big modern player.
It's worth considering.
I found the link to the actual card, the German card, and the art is so beautiful.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Like, wow. I mean, I don't know what Erwurzel Gewasser is, but damn. I think it's the colors. The colors just speak to me.
All right. So then coming back to here, the next legendary creature that we have not covered is in red.
I seem to have... Oh, there it is.
It's Captain Lannery Storm, and they look like they're having a very good time.
It seems like all the legendary pirate captains seem to be all women.
And they all
Well,
are
Dirk-
having a blast.
They all look like they're having fun.
What's this one doing if she's having
Alright.
so much fun?
Well, she is for 2 and a red. She is a legendary human pirate. That's a 2/2 and has haste. Whenever Captain Lannery Storm attacks, create a colorless treasure token, artifact token with tap. Sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Whenever you sacrifice a treasure, Captain Lannery Storm gets +1/+0 until end of turn.
And see, I love that it's not sacrifice a treasure. She gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Like you have to spend it for her. It's whenever you spend 1, period. So you can still use it for mana.
Yeah, it's like better. It's fire breathing, but without but you can actually do something with it.
Right.
The mana from it.
Right.
She can be like, here, I want you to cast this. Just use the treasure. All right, now that we've cast that, it's time to go on a raid. Just without the, the activate ability, not activate ability. Words.
The ability word.
There you go. Not that raid.
Yarrr. Although, same faction. The pirates are the ones that do the raiding, so we're good.
Yeah.
It fits.
And I think that does it for legendary creatures for now. Yep. That we have seen.
Yarrr.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mike. I mean, damn it, I did it again.
Don't you hate it when you play Pithing Needle or Pithing Needle or however you pronounce it and you just completely whiff? Isn't that
You
stuff-
choose the wrong damn card. Yeah.
It's a wrong card. Wouldn't it be nice if you could pay just a little more and never name the wrong card unless you're, dumb?
It really would.
Nice. Well, that's a nice theory. Moving on.
But then wouldn't you be able to whiff in a whole different way?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the Sorcerer's Spyglass gives you at least a slightly better chance of naming the right thing. For 2 mana, it's an artifact. It's rare. As Sorcerer's Spyglass enters the battlefield, look at an opponent's hand, then choose any card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities.
I like it.
Yeah. Seems like
Yeah.
another interesting twist on the Pithing Needle thing.
Yeah,
And
it does cost twice as much. That does
Yes.
matter.
I think it matters a lot.
Yeah, but you get to see whether they even have the card that you're trying to preempt.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with it is if they don't, then you're going to have to name something that is in their hand, which is kind of...
Well, you still don't have to if you know their deck, or if you have some idea. Maybe you look at their hand and you're like, oh, you're playing.
Oh, wait, it says then
those
choose any
cards.
card name, not any card name in their hand. Oh, okay, we're
Right,
better
yeah.
now. Yeah, this is amazing. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I am
And
an idiot. RTFC.
And as Mike said, I do feel
Yeah.
like the difference between 1 and 2 mana is very significant, especially in Eternal formats where Pithing Needle, is going to proactively stop something very, very important. But I think this is a nice way to balance that out. So I like it. So we've hit almost everything, but there's still a lot of other stuff to go through. Do we want to go ahead and call it here and come back to it next week?
Wait a minute.
Is there anything
hang on.
else that stands out to anybody?
Hang on, wrong link. Let me once over real quick. Well, while we're on tech cards real quick, the Ashes of the Abhorrent is another nice little addition to those. For 1 and a white, it's a rare enchantment. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or activate abilities of cards in graveyards. And whenever a creature dies, you gain 1 life, just as an extra little.
So it's always, even if you're not playing against a graveyard centric deck, you'll
there's
always
a
have some.
small upside. Yeah.
Yeah. What's an activated ability of a card in a graveyard in standard? I know in modern there's flashback.
That,
The new
Jackal guy.
the Jekyll guy.
Yeah, with Heck Bent, he can grow back from the graveyard.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Eternalize.
Yeah, Eternalize and Embalm are activated abilities from
yeah.
graveyards, right? What about
Yep.
the new
Yes, they
split
are.
card? What's that called?
Aftermath. Yeah, that's casting a spell from a graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah,
can't do
yeah.
that.
So take that Amonkhet block.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I liked how they put that in there as an answer for that. There's also a black card that has a similar effect of trying to be a check on graveyard decks. It's the Deadeye Tracker For 1 black, it's a 1/1 human pirate. It's rare, and you can pay 1 and a black and tap him to exile 2 target cards from an opponent's graveyard. Deadeye Tracker Explorers.
Huh. That's... Huh.
So
I don't know
so
how I feel about this guy.
I like how that they have put some of these. They didn't want to put lots of graveyard hate in Amonkhet, but they realized that these sets are going to be in standard together, and we don't want it to be too abusive. So
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily. You don't even have to use it as a graveyard hate card. It's also just a cheap activated ability that lets you look at and possibly draw cards.
right, and stuff is going to die over the course of a game. So, or you're going to cast instants and sorceries. So their graveyard is going to fill.
Mm-hmm.
So much like the white card that you just mentioned, the Ashes of the Abhorrent, you're still going to have a use for it outside of stopping graveyard decks, but against those decks it will be additionally important. So, but you're right. It's not just a hate card.
Yeah. Also, I feel like we should knock out the last 2 dinosaurs.
Okay.
Because they're dinosaur avatars, which makes me think that they are some kind of cycle. That when you Voltron them all somehow in the story, you get Dorothy Gish, Lillian Gish. What was her name?
I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
She's an actress. Oh, Dorothy and Lillian Gish. Oh, there were 2 of them. All right, then. That was her sister. So, the red one, where'd it go? The Burning Sun's Avatar for 3 and 3 red is a 6/6 dinosaur avatar. That's rare. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target opponent and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature. So it throws a bolt at your opponent and it throws a bolt at a creature. Either one of theirs to kill it, or one of yours to trigger enrage, maybe?
Yeah.
Could be a little thing you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But it's also a 6/6 for 6, although it's 3 red, so that's...
It's pretty intense.
Locks you in.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Okay.
But
And
still, it's a dinosaur. Yay.
Yeah. And then there's this green one, Dirk. It's the Verdant Sun's Avatar.
So the Verdant Sun's Avatar for 5 and 2 green. It's a 5/5 dinosaur avatar that's rare. Whenever Verdant Sun's Avatar or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness.
So you're at least going to get 5 life off of it itself, which I like. So I wonder if these are all going to be relatively expensive dinosaurs that have an enters the battlefield effect.
Well, the first 2 are.
The red one only triggers when it comes in, because if it was when it or any creature you control enters the battlefield, it would be dumb.
A little bit.
Just yeah. There's one more. You mentioned the last dinosaur. There's actually one white dinosaur we haven't covered yet.
Actually, I think there are 2.
There's 2 white dinosaurs.
Dang it. Okay, real quick. Go get it.
The Goring Ceratops costs 5 and 2 white for a 3/3 dinosaur. It's rare. It has double strike. And whenever it attacks other creatures you control, gain double strike until end of turn.
Woo!
Yeah. There's a reason it's only a 3/3. Because that's ridiculous. It's very straightforward, smashy. Mike, what's the other one?
The other one is Kinjali's Sunwing. For 2 and a white, it's a 2/3 dinosaur with flying, some kind of pterodon. I'm sure many people argue that
they weren't dinosaurs.
Not dinosaurs.
They're not dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Damn it.
This is fantasy. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. Go ahead.
This is Ixalan. So it has flying, and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
I'm just glad it doesn't have flash.
Oh, sorry. I don't get the flavor for this one. I'm guessing like something about the beating of its wings pushes you over, maybe? Just from the flavor text?
The majesty of it.
Oh, look at all that majesty.
It's picking up a guy in its beak in the art. So maybe it swoops down when your opponent's creature's into the battlefield. It swoops down over them, and they have to drop and cover their heads to not get snatched up.
There are
Yeah.
moments when I feel I could fly like the sunwing. Far away I would soar, but always a golden gale pushes me back. And I can't read the name that's attributed. Huatley?
Whatley.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think this one is more about card than flavor.
Yes. I mean, they do a very good job lately of being top down, but this, I think, was a card they wanted to create.
Yeah.
And it's a very white effect. And so they wanted to have a dinosaur, a flying dinosaur.
Caw! Your stuff's tapped.
Shall we call it here?
Yup, I think we're good.
And then next time we record, they'll actually have the card image gallery up.
Hopefully.
They should.
Okay, then. So who wants to sign us out first?
I'll go ahead and do mine because I actually have to head out. When I was really young, I was incredibly fascinated by dinosaurs, and it makes me kind of happy to see that in Ixalan that they are bringing dinosaurs into this. I'm very glad that they did not go with their traditional leathery skin reptile-looking dinosaurs. There are some in this, like the Carnage Tyrant, that look like that, but they're a lot like the legendary dinosaur avatar, where there's feathers on it, and there's a bunch of stuff going around that a lot of the later dinosaurs probably did have a lot of feathers on them. So I'm kind of happy that they went that route, that they thought they would use a little bit of feathers and whatnot on them. To me, it kind of strikes me as like the Quetzalcoatl stuff from South America,
Yeah.
because of the colors and everything. But like I said, it just makes me happy to see this. And so far, the set looks kind of neat.
Yeah.
The creature types that they decide to go with, dinosaur, pirates, and everything, seems kind of weird. But you know what? This is Magic, and weird things come in droves. So, I don't really have much on the home front or anything like that to add to the final thoughts, so I'll just leave it there for tonight.
Fair enough. Well, then we will see you on Saturday, my friend.
Yes, I will see you all Saturday, and I will bring my commanders.
Yay!
Sounds great. See you then.
All right. Good night.
Night.
I guess I'll go next.
I was going to say dead silence.
The silence truncation will take that out, right?
Yeah,
So-
most of it.
Okay. So I'll do magic related and non-magic related. So on the non-magic related, I'll just say probably what everyone's thinking, that my thoughts and prayers are with everyone in Texas right now. It's very easy to say that, I think. And I can just say that and then go on about my normal life and feel like my life isn't really affected because I'm safe and dry where I am. But I really do want to take a moment and think about this and mention it, just because, and I'm sorry if you feel like you've heard a lot about it, but there are people there that is affecting every minute of their day. It has changed their lives. I read this terrible story about a woman and her 18-month-old daughter were trying to get out and actually got caught up while trying to walk to safety by a sudden onrush of water and were washed away. And rescuers managed to catch the daughter before she had floated too far downstream, but she was clinging to her mother who had passed away. So think about that for a little bit and what life is like for them right now. And not every case is going to be like that. I realize that, but this is not a fabrication. It's something that actually had happened. And we had some light rain today and it feels very far removed. And I just want to take a minute and remember that this is something aside from games and politics and all that is dramatically shaping some people's lives. And I want to think about that. And if you have a way to make life better for someone, whether they live in Texas or not, I think it's important to do that because you never know when something is going to happen in your life that's going to change it forever. That being said, back to Magic, I feel like the set looks really interesting, and I feel like I'm having a polar opposite reaction to what I had with Hour of Devastation, where I didn't really have a whole lot of build-up in my mind for this set. We heard Ixalan, we heard Pirate, Vraska, and I'm like, that sounds cool, but it didn't have the same gravitas as like Nicol Bolas is coming back. And then so maybe because I wasn't approaching it with, oh, this is going to be amazing, I'm more receptive to it, and seeing what all is involved, I gotta say, it's definitely got my interest peaked. I kind of like how it doesn't feel like it's just a graveyard set. It doesn't feel like it's just a tribal set. It just feels really interesting and engaging. I might have mentioned this previously. It feels like how Zendikar did in original Zendikar block, where it's like land of adventure and excitement and danger and jungle setting, but it's different enough where I don't feel like it's just treading on old tropes. So I think it's looking pretty cool. Yay, dinosaurs. That's it.
Sometimes, after biting a dinosaur, the mosquito would land on the branch of a tree and get caught in the sap.
Thank you, Mr. DNA.
Life will find a way. Anyway.
Clever girl.
No, we already made that one. What else we got?
I know.
Something flea circus. Ah, got there.
Shoot her.
Shoot her. What is it with people and their bizarre noises on this episode?
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your part.
So have I.
Spared no expense.
I get the feeling Mike either hates us or he's coming up with them just as we say them.
Quick, Mike, must go faster, must go faster.
I don't know. For some reason, I lost track of where you guys were going.
Oh, we're just throwing out Jurassic Park quotes.
Okay.
Yeah, like lots.
I mean, the last time I saw that, I was like in second or third grade or something. I just don't remember.
Dude, are you serious?
Baby.
I'm serious.
What is wrong with you? I went to see it in the theaters when it was re-released, and I think that's the one I went to with Ashley, with Hot Girl at Work, and we were the only ones in the theater. So we like MST3K'd that bitch. It was awesome.
Everything else aside, the visual graphics, the what's the word? The visual effects thing at the time were land breaking, and you see it now, and they still, for the most part, hold up pretty well. Yeah. And then the score is amazing, and I do feel like the actors did pretty well too. So you can poke fun at some of it. I definitely like just about every book and movie. The book is better. FYI, we have gone back now and watched Prisoner of Azkaban, and yeah, Carrie and Sam, Carrie had never really seen it and paid attention before, but has finished reading the book with us. And Sam, who had certainly never seen it before, were both like, what did we just watch? The book is so much better. So much better. I know I had said that before, but seeing the movie again, I thought, well, maybe it wasn't as bad as I was thinking. No, it was, it hurt me to watch it. And Carrie was like, what just happened? I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, it's Mike's turn now.
I still say that Goblet of Fire was worse.
And we'll get to that one next. We've started the audiobook for it, but my issue with Prisoner of Azkaban is everything they left on the table. They never once explained the significance of Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prong. I
think that was a little weird that they just didn't even a throwaway line.
Not even anything. And then Lupin gives the map to Harry at the end and never says, oh yeah,
we wrote it, or just none of that.
We wrote it. Yeah. And then the whole thing with Sirius and a lot of the background was just completely dropped for 5 minutes of I didn't do it, he did it instead, and Harry was like, oh, okay, and just left it. And so much development was left on the table. And I realized they're working with a tighter time frame. the book is long. The movie can't be as long. But the stuff they chose to put in, there's a scene in the movie toward the beginning where the boys in Gryffindor are eating candy and it's making them make animal sounds. And it goes on for a couple minutes. And I'm like, why is this even in here when we could have more story? There's a lot of story here that we're not getting to. So if there's one thing they did well, it was the depiction of Dementors. That was spot on. But story-wise, not even close. But I have yet to rewatch Goblet of Fire, so I'll be getting to that one next. Now I'm actually really, truly, finally done. Unless Chewie says, Mike, I'm trying very hard not to interrupt you. It's going against my nature.
Okay. I mean, usually Chewie tells the next person to go ahead. So that's what I was waiting for.
Oh, I figured you were self-sufficient. I'm sorry for assuming
you're
that.
Your own man,
Let's see. The thought I had was actually really just to point out a couple pieces of flavor text that I noticed, and what it has to do with some other things going on in Ixalan, however we want to say it. So here's some flavor text on Dragon Skull Summit. When the Planeswalker, Angrith, called dinosaurs dragons, the name stuck in certain pirate circles. Okay. So there's another Planeswalker prowling around that we haven't met yet. We know about Jason Vraska, but not Angrith, whoever this is.
Yarrr.
But then, the flavor text for Angrith's Marauders, it's one of the red cards we didn't talk about. Captain Angrith cares less about treasure than mayhem. If he can't leave Ixalan, he'll burn the place down.
So I wonder if we have like an Ob Nixilis situation here.
Yeah. Or they're just stealing ideas from Brian.
I mean, that's
Maybe
what I
a little
do.
bit.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, though. Like everybody else, I'm really looking forward to this weekend. We'll get to see each other again. We'll get to play with the new commander decks. We'll get to play the Nicol Bolas Archenemy. Maybe we'll open up the Shadows over Innistrad Arena of the Planeswalkers thing. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Well, how about you there, Chewie?
Just waiting to see if Mike was actually done, but I guess so. So,
Well, you said that was it. So I thought I would introduce you for once.
Oh.
Ah.
I got nothing. I'm so far behind on everything that it's killing me. Between driving, which is the main problem, streaming, which I'm trying to keep up with since YouTube, it's bound and determined to push me away. I might as well stream more. And trying desperately to have a social life, which is moderately successful, I might add. I've just fallen behind on everything. I haven't touched the Lich King in Hearthstone yet, even though it's already, everyone's already forgotten about him because, okay, yeah, here are the decks that you use. Okay, we all beat him and got our Paladin. Thanks a lot. Goodbye. I still haven't even looked at him. I don't know. I'm just that far behind. I haven't recorded another episode of The Park, which could be the last one because I haven't had time because they got me driving all the damn time, which I got paid, and the paycheck was a bit more than I expected. So there are some upsides to always doing the damn driving, but damn. It's a large pain in the ass. I have another YouTube copyright claim against one of my videos. Not a new one this time. It's a random Five Nights at Freddy's 4 video claiming that I used some piece of music for these 40 seconds. I listened to those 40 seconds. There's no music! Because Five Nights at Freddy's 4, if you'll recall, involves me running up to a door and listening real hard to see if something's going to eat my face. And then I go, okay, I don't hear anything. And then I run to a different door, and there's silence because I'm listening really intently. And then I go, okay, that's the audio in those 40 seconds. But apparently, some jackass seems to think that I'm using a piece of their music.
Bogus.
Yeah, so I filed a complaint. I was playing Overwatch with Scott when I got it, and I'm like, in between deaths, I'd die, and I'd be like, damn it, and I'd come over here, and okay, dispute, and I play till I die, and I'm like, okay, dispute, this, play again till I die, all right, No, it's bogus. Type, bogus, send. All right, that was easy. At least this time it's not on something new that makes me want to hold it until it's done. It's on something that I will probably never make more than another nickel off of because I'm not, that popular on YouTube, so it's fine. But still, what the hell, man? And it's the fact that it's been out for so long leads me to believe that it's not an automated thing. But then they'd see the number of views and they should know that it's not worth. I don't understand what's going on. I really don't. And it makes me want to throw tables. So yeah, on YouTube, on Hearthstone, I'm working my way through the Knights of the Frozen Throne adventure or solo missions or whatever they're called. Slowly but surely, I'm about 3/4 of the way through editing the next one. And then I'm going to record the next one and then start on the Lich King after that. So that'll be coming soon. I'm going to record another, hopefully the last 1 or 2 episodes of The Park soon. Hopefully tomorrow, because I was going to do it today and then I had a drive that took literally all day and got home in time to shove food in my head and start recording. It really sucks that I have like 9 things I need to do, but I also have to make like real money. So when they call me, I have to go, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And it's the same problem that I always have. I'm constantly trying to do so many things, and other than the recording of the podcasts, it's a one-man show. So I have to and I still do need sleep and food, and I need, time to do things that I actually want to do so I don't lose my mind. Because there for a while I wasn't doing anything except work, and that wasn't good. I found out relatively, actually it wasn't quickly. It took a while.
Yeah.
But if I don't take time for myself to watch some YouTube or play some Hearthstone or some Overwatch or some Heroes of the Storm or something just for me, then I get and my brain goes potty and everything's awful. So I'm trying real hard to juggle all this. So I've had a lot of people be like, hey, when's there going to be more park content? I'm like, I don't know. And I know that they're just asking, but every time they ask, I'm like, ah. So yeah, that's my life. I try real hard to stay caught up on things, and I fail miserably. And then I've got a bunch of nerds when I get together on Saturdays, so that eats up a whole day of productivity. Oh my god. And Mom is like, you gonna come over and hang out on Sunday? And I'm like, no. That was a joke, by the way, about Saturday. You guys got real quiet. I'm like, I was kidding. It was a joke. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you.
No, I don't think we just got quiet. I think we both kind of checked out while you were doing your final thoughts.
Oh, okay, fine. That makes sense. I think Brian dozed off.
Nope,
So,
I'm still here. I just don't have anything to add.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't have anything to add either. And there was something else that I was of substance that I was gonna bring up, but now I don't remember what it was. So, never mind. So I guess with that rambling bunch of incoherent nonsense, I will kill this episode. So this has been the Mana Pool number. I forgot already. Is it 477? Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah. We're going to go with that, whether it's right or not, or at least until I open up the podcast folder and look, it doesn't want to load the actual podcast. Here we go. Yes, episode 477.
Did you say that at the beginning? I don't think you did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
So with that, we will be gone. So a big thanks, of course, to the dorks. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you too.
Sitting. Oh, I see you wake up for that. Actually, getting to talk to you guys every week and talking to Bill and Clues every week is one of the, I don't want to say bright spots because everything that I do is a bright spot, but it's a bright spot that I know I'm gonna do. If they say, hey, we need you to drive somewhere and you won't get back till midnight on Thursday, I'm like, can't do it. And I don't feel bad about it at all. I just don't. Because this is the podcasts are the one things that I just don't overwrite.
Mm-hmm.
So they can take away all of my time to record and edit videos, and they can screw up my streaming schedule, but they're not going to screw up the podcast. And that makes me feel good. And of course, thank all of you listeners who are still with us after all this time, this episode, and all this time over however long you've been listening. We love you all and we appreciate it. And with that, I'm going to shut up now. So, Yarrr. Thank you
Yarrr.
all so very much for yarring, and go ride a dinosaur.